Grief recovery specialist. She is sharing her thoughts and her ideas about grief and how to deal with it. Welcome, Gulam, and the floor is yours.
Thank you. Thank you very much. So my name is Gulam. I'm
Grief
based
recovery
in
specialist. She is sharing her thoughts and her ideas about grief and how to deal with it. Welcome, Gulam, and the floor is yours.
Thank you. Thank you very much. So my name is Gulam. I'm based in
specialist. She is sharing her thoughts and her ideas about grief and how to deal with it.
Do we have an echo?
Keep listening to the same recording over.
You might need to restart.
We might need to restart because I think it has an echo, right?
Yes, it does.
Okay, then stop recording and then restart again.
Rehan, before you start recording, I just want to check whether you want me to just carry on or you're going to interview me.
First of all, you're going to carry on and explain yourself, and then we're going to interview you.
Okay, fantastic.
Thank you. So we start again? Okay, let's start. Dr. Rana?
Hello, everyone, and welcome to our friendly talk. Today, on Mother's Day, we would like to we are having a very special guest, Ms. Gulam Fernandez, an advanced grief recovery specialist. She is joining our session today to talk about grief, how to overcome it, how to deal with it. So welcome, Gulam, and the floor is yours.
Thank you very much. So my name is Gulam. I'm based in Southeast London. Today, Mother's Day can have lots of very mixed emotions. Some of you are mothers and you're being really pampered today. Some of you might be feeling sad because you lost your mums. Some of you maybe had hoped to be mothers, but something went wrong. So there can be lots of different emotions going on. I'm just going to share a little bit about my story. So my mum died when I was 13 years old. And at the time, nobody really knew how to be supportive. And people said things to me like, oh, don't cry. You've got to be strong for your brothers and sisters. And so that's what I thought I had to do. So I put my own grief to one side and spent many years just being strong. And sometimes there is a myth that time heals, but it's not time that heals, it's what you do during that time. And so because I was busy being strong, my grief went on for a very long time. And then later on, when my brother died very suddenly from a heart attack, all the unresolved grief around my mother then came up, and it was really difficult. I went on to have multiple losses, which taught me lots and lots of things, really. But one thing I want to point out is that we have choices. I can't change the fact that my mother died, but I can choose how I remember her and what I do to resolve the grief. And I was very blessed that I came across a grief recovery method, which is a very structured, evidence-based educational program that teaches you the knowledge, tools, and processes that you can then use to reflect on what it is that's keeping you stuck and help you to process your grief resourcefully. And during that time, I really learned that I can focus on the glass half full or the glass half empty. So I can focus on remembering all the positive memories of my mother, and having dealt with some of the unresolved issues, it's now easier for me to focus on being really grateful for the time that I had her. I would have liked it to be longer, but I can focus on being grateful, or I can choose to focus on feeling sad. And I realize that feeling grateful is much, much more productive. The thing that kept me stuck was I didn't listen to my heart. So she was about to go on holiday, and I suddenly had this feeling of wanting to give her a big hug and tell her that I loved her. But I ignored it because there were lots of people around. And I remember saying to myself, don't make a fuss. She'll be back in 6 weeks. And I realized that actually she didn't come back in 6 weeks. She died while she was over there, and I was left for a long time with just being, every time I thought of it, I would remember, why didn't I follow my heart? So that's a lesson I've learned, that when you haven't, something comes on your heart, don't put it off. Don't think, oh, I'll tell my mum I love her tomorrow, I'm a bit busy now, because we don't know what will happen tomorrow. If you have any conflicts, if your mum is around and you have any unresolved conflicts, I would really encourage you to sort it out. If you need to say, please forgive me, do it quickly. If you need to say, I'm sorry, do it quickly. Because again, we don't know how long they're going to be around. And sometimes people get into grudges and misunderstandings, and they cut off communication for years. Please don't do that, because I know that if something happens to them, that is something that will really be a problem. We don't have forever. We just have one short life, so make the most of it. That's looking at my mum who's no longer around. I'm going to talk a little bit about, now that I am a mum, I believe that children are a wonderful gift, and I have two amazing sons.
Sorry.
I have two amazing sons who I've trained them well. One of them's already brought me breakfast in bed, and
What's their name? Your sons?
Our oldest son is called Farouk, and our youngest son is called Tariq.
Tariq.
Yeah.
It's an Arabic name.
I think that name is used in many places.
We call it Tariq.
Right. Yes. So as a mother, I do have mixed emotions, because I had 3 miscarriages, and 2 of them were actually girls. So we have 2 boys, but sometimes I find myself wondering if they had survived. And sadly, I lost them at quite late on in the pregnancy. And so I could see how beautifully formed they were. It's just, it was just sad that it didn't go to full term. But again, I can spend my time missing out on what is here and now by focusing on the sadness of not having the 2 daughters, or I can choose to be grateful for the 2 sons that I have. And again, I think, what happens to us is not something we can choose, but how we choose to respond to it is something we can take responsibility for. And as I said today, I've already been blessed with flowers and breakfast in bed, and I think they have plans to cook dinner. So I'm having a very lazy day. Please feel free to ask any questions.
So thank you so much. Your story is so empowering, because I think we all been through losses in different way, but having lost your mom and your 2 late pregnancy child, which is really affecting, I'm sure. So that's why you came up with helping organizations to survive after losses, because most of employee, as my major right now, I study labor force participation rate. So to me, it's very important for the employee to understand how to deal with their losses during their work, and to maximize their utility in their workplace. I would like, before we go to jump into that question, to answer that question, where are you based right now?
I'm based in Southeast London, in the UK, but I do a lot of work online. So if anybody needs my service, it's not a problem anymore. You could be wherever, and we can do things.
And how do you think that's important for employee to understand? And how can you help organizations to deal with that?
Yes, I think an organization's employees are their most important asset.
That's true.
And if they are not able to function, because the symptoms of grief can be loss of productivity and memory, feeling overwhelmed by your emotions, struggling to focus. Well, after my brother died, I really found it hard to focus on my job, and in the end, I actually was advised to take time off. So it can leave people taking a lot of time off, especially if they don't get help to deal with it resourcefully. If people think, oh, they just need time, then they could be off for a long time, and every day it's costing the company a lot of money while that work is not getting done. So my vision is to work with organizations to help equip their staff to build emotional resilience for tough times. I think if if we can teach our staff on how to take care of themselves emotionally and build up that emotional resilience when the tough times come, and they come, that's just part of life.
Yeah.
They have more resources to deal with it. And then also teaching them a little bit about understanding how grief works and how to handle it resourcefully, again, will mean that they don't do things that could keep them stuck for a very long time. And the third aspect is that people are very unclear often how to support somebody who's dealing with loss. So whether you're a manager and you've got employees, or whether you are colleagues, if somebody's going through a loss, sometimes people say very unhelpful things. They're very well meaning and they, intend to do good, but they can end up being very unhelpful. And sometimes people will try to avoid the person or avoid the subject, or they will have unrealistic expectations of what that person can do while they're grieving. And they might get a couple of days off, and then they'll say, oh, are you all better now? Is everything sorted? So by having some understanding of grief and how it can affect people, and the things that are helpful to say and not to say, that can just make a huge difference in the workplace. And obviously improving well-being and resourcefulness and good knowledge and information in our workforces is going to pay lots of dividends in terms of the service that's provided and the general atmosphere. Because obviously when people are grieving and not being supported, it can lead to a lot of anxiety and stress and breakdown in relationships.
Wonderful, wonderful, Golan. So what I understand from your work is that you work in advance of any griefs or any sadness.
I'm planning to, I have a one-day course which touches on those three important aspects. And then if there are people who are actually grieving and dealing with loss at that time, then I can set up a specific grief recovery method course for those people. And I am particularly interested in doing one-to-one work with people who are in senior management and CEOs, because if the leader loses vision and focus and purpose and is caught up with sadness and pain, it affects the whole organization. So we can do groups and we can do one-to-one work as well, if it's needed. So the one-day course is really to raise general awareness. And then I can offer a second day where I can offer individual one-to-one interviews where we can assess and help people to make an individual action plan that will support them going forward.
So, for example, what kind of tips can we use as an individual to overcome our losses, let's say?
I think the first tip is...
Especially in a Mother's Day, because for us, in a Mother's Day, it's for us, it's a memories day. So it's the day that's where we're gonna remember. And even, for example, if my mom alive, she's not gonna be with me next to me right now. So what kind of tips can we use to be positive about it?
Yes. I think the first thing is to notice how you're feeling, because sometimes we ignore our feelings, but our feelings give us an idea of what's happening and how we can respond. Sometimes we try to distract ourselves by doing something different, but actually we need to acknowledge our feelings, we need to own our feelings, and then we need to find good ways to express our feelings. So having a safe person who is willing to listen to you without interrupting or trying to fix you or criticize or analyze is one of the most helpful things that you can do. Identify who is your safe person and teach them how to be your heart with ears. So they're listening from their heart, but the mouth is kept closed. Because sometimes what happens is when we hear somebody's in pain, we want to help them. So we jump in to start giving them advice and say, oh, you should do this, or you should do that, or try this. But the most healing thing, if you are struggling with grief, is to actually find somebody who can just be willing to listen and you feel really heard. And then you can also use other ways of expressing your emotions. I was just talking to a lady who's running an art workshop where she's going to get people to express their emotions through art. And also, I think it's really important to remember you have a choice on what you focus on. Are you going to focus on the pain and the grief, or are you going to focus on what can I do to honor the memory of my mom, or what can I do to reminisce on the really good things? You know, we have choices that we can make. And that's easier to say than do, but I think it's good to remind ourselves, what is it I want to focus on? Do I want to focus on doing something to honor my mom and to bless her? And even if we can't be together, we can find creative ways of expressing ourselves. Some people find journaling really, really helpful.
What is it?
Journaling, writing things down. Sometimes people find it helpful to write a letter. And in the letter to say the things maybe they didn't have a chance to say. And there are lots of resources around as well. And let me see if I can put something in the chat box that might be helpful.
Thank you so much.
Okay, so I can do that while you carry on. I know you have other people who want to talk, but if there are any other questions, I'm very happy to answer them.
How do you celebrate your Mother's Day every year, you yourself?
So my children have realized that that's something I think of being very important. And I think my husband has had to train them over the years to remind them, okay, this Sunday it's Mother's Day, what are you going to do? And so they usually bring me breakfast in bed, and then we'll have a special meal. Maybe we'll watch a special movie, and they'll buy flowers, and they'll make a point of saying, Mum, we really love you. They don't always say that every day, but they know that it feels very special when they say that. So they make a point of saying, Mum, I really appreciate all you do for us. And I think just hearing those positive things makes it really nice, because a lot of the time everybody's busy with their lives and you can just feel taken for granted. So I think for me, my birthday and Mother's Day are 2 days that they make a special effort to share their love and appreciation.
Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you.
Can I ask?
And what do you do for your mom in order when you remember her in the Mother's Day?
I think because my mom died such a long time ago, and I've made peace. It was very, very painful for a long time.
I'm sorry, 1 minute. This is my mom here. Mama.
Ah.
Mama. My Mafina, I am in the meeting now. I'm doing Mother's Day. She's Mother's Day. It's every day, and what I do every year, Mama. She's from Dominica. She's my semi-mom in the UK. She's my host as well. I stayed with her in her house when I came to the UK for months, and she became my real mom right now. Mama, happy Mother's Day. Everyone listening to you right now.
Sorry?
You are in live right now, and everyone listening to you.
Oh, okay. All right.
So,
thank you so much for calling, as always.
So what we do every year, Mama, every year I call you. Happy Mother's Day, at the Mother's Day and at the Father's Day as well.
Mother's Day, Father's Day, and Christmas.
And Christmas too, yes.
You call and we spend it together.
Yes, normally, yes.
Yes.
How are you, Mama, today? Do you have a message to say to the audience?
Yes, I just want to say Happy Mother's Day to all the mothers that are in the audience.
Mhm.
Even the ones that are expecting to be mothers,
Yes.
and the mothers, the grandmothers, and everyone that has children and expecting children. May God grant them the heart desire, and Happy Mother's Day.
Happy Mother's Day. Dr. Rana, do you want to say something to her?
Well, happy Mother's Day. It's very nice to have you with us here over the phone.
Thank you so much, Doctor. Happy Mother's Day to you too.
Miss Gollum, do you want to say something to Mom Fina?
Yes, what a pleasure to meet you. What a lovely surprise. Happy Mother's Day.
Happy Mother's Day to you.
Dr. Ahlam, Dr. Ahlam, do you want to say something to my mom?
Happy Mother's to you, Miss Fina.
Fina, yes.
Fina.
Yes.
Thank you so much. Happy Mother's Day to you all.
عبد الكريم, أستاذ عبد الكريم.
معك يا أستاذ ريحان.
Happy Mother's Day to my mom.
ألو.
أيوة تقدر تقول لها يوم سعيد إن شاء الله.
أستاذ ريحان الصوت.
أيوة شكرا. ماما.
Yes, my dear.
Mama, thank you so much for your share, your time, and spend a really good time as well with your husband and daughters. So that's life. As you said, I listened to your advice and I called straight away because it's about feelings sometimes. It's about when do you have the feeling, just do it. For your mom, for your semi-mom, for your people who take care of you as well. I think people around you, Sunday, it's the day for us when I came here to the UK, it's become a family day. So I think every Sunday for us in Saudi Arabia, we have, as a Muslim, we have Friday as well. So for us, the Friday, it's the family day. So I think I will listen to your advice and I will call them as much as I can.
Yes.
And especially my grandmother, I would say hi to her from here if she could listen to me later. Thank you so much for your for you sharing your thoughts to us. And I think we're going to meet up again, inshallah, with special courses without losses.
Yes.
Yes.
That'd be great.
Can I ask one question, please?
Yes, of course.
Thank you. As a mother, how can I deal best with the griefs of my children? Like my son, when he was 9 years old, he used to have a pet, a bird, and for quite some time, and then it died, and he was devastated. Yes, he cried and cried for the whole day. I let him cry, but then it hurts me watching him crying all this time. I worried that something would happen to him. I don't know I didn't know how to deal with it, and I kept telling him that's enough. You don't have to cry all day long. I know you're sad. It passed, and he just replied to me. I don't know how to say it. It was funny. He said, "It wasn't your child that you lost. It was my child." He considered the bird his own child.
Yes, yes.
I consider myself. I failed to deal with
it. Yes.
So please.
And this
some tips or advice.
Yes, of course. So this is another area which I'm very passionate about. So I want to help organizations equip their employees, and I want to help parents and teachers and caregivers be equipped on helping children with loss. And we can make a lot of assumptions that, oh, well, it's only a pet, or we'll get you another one. But we don't know what the relationship is for the child and what it means to them. So it's interesting that he said to you, I mean, for him, it was as if he had lost his baby or lost his child. And if you imagine how you would feel if you had lost your child. So sometimes it's really important not to minimize what the child is saying. And another tip is really to remember that grief is a natural and normal reaction to loss. And the more uncomfortable that you are, and the more you try to suppress it, like people did with me, and say, oh no, don't worry, it was only a pet, we'll get you another one. Another common one was, oh, you've got to be a strong boy. No, you need to reassure him or reassure the child that what they're feeling is natural and normal, and give them the opportunity to express. You may feel uncomfortable, but for them, this is a release, and the more they suppress their emotions, the more difficult it becomes later on. I'm planning to run a course called Helping Children with Loss. It's a 4-session course done over 4 sessions, and there we talk about grief, how it affects children, how to prepare them, because a lot of the time we teach children how to get things, but not how to respond when they lose things. So it's a very, very important area. And I'll be very happy, Rana, if you message me or send me a text. I will be very happy to talk to you a little bit more about what the course, how long it is and what is involved and the cost and all those sorts of things. And I think having experienced what it feels to not be equipped to support children with loss, I think you will really benefit from it. And it's based on a book called it's based on a book called How Children Grieve. But it's a fantastic course. And so I have 2 missions. One is in the corporate world, and then one is to do with supporting children, because I know how affected I was when people didn't know how to support me when I was 13 years old. But thank you for raising that, because that's something I forgot to mention. Thank you.
That's all right. I have another. I'm sorry.
No, it's fine. It's absolutely fine.
I love talking to you and listening to your thoughts about something. Like my daughter, she's 11 years old, and she loves to play with Legos and building castles and stuff. And she built her own castle. And I noticed there were 2 blocks on the side, a little bit far from the castle. And I asked her, what are these? And she said, that's your and daddy's graveyard.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I don't know. It shocked me that and she said it in a sad actually tone, that she's gonna keep us even close to her. It worried me, Galam, a lot. Why would she even think about that? Or is she too realistic? Is that normal? Any thoughts about that?
I think the important thing is to be that heart with ears. So it's sometimes as parents, we can get worried and we can jump to all sorts of conclusions about what it means and why they've done it and should we be worried. The important thing is really to ask a gentle question. Oh, that's interesting. I'm curious about what were you thinking about? What does that mean for you? And by asking questions which give the child the opportunity to share what their thoughts are, you will get an idea of whether that's coming from a dark place or whether it's coming from a place where they're mentally already prepared for the fact that realistically one day you will be gone, and they've already come to terms with that. You would call that like pre-grieving, but you won't know. You have to put your assumptions and presumptions to one side, and you have to gently be curious about what's going on and ask them, and then be willing to listen without judgment, without trying to fix things or without, sort of analyzing things. Be curious and ask those questions, and then be willing to listen, because that will give you better information as to what's going on for them than you start immediately thinking, oh, is this normal? There's something wrong with them. Should I do something? But please, Rana, do keep a lookout for when I run my next course for parents helping children with loss, because I think you will find it very valuable.
Definitely. Thanks a lot.
Any questions from Alam or Abdul Karim?
Thank you so much for what you're sharing. Lovely information. Thank you so much.
It's my pleasure.
Yeah.
Rehan, we can't hear you. You have to.
You're on mute.
Hello again. Ms. Golam, now it's your turn to interview me. Thank you for your presentation. It was very touchful and thoughtful. I think we're going to remember it as the key words for us in the future. Thank you so much. We're willing to collaborate with you, inshallah.
Thank you. That would be lovely. So, Rahim, tell us a little bit about what Mother's Day means for you and how you spend it.
To be honest with you, I'm someone I love days have names. I believe in that. That's having special emotions in different days in a year. It's not because we're waiting for that day to have that emotion, but it's time at least to give it think over or to think it over to express sometimes our feelings. That's why I did this event today, because I used to meet my mothers here in the UK. But let me talk back in days before I come here to the UK. When I was young, my mom died when I was 17, 18 years old. And I was extremely close to my mom, the closest ever. I was the second child for her, and I was the second daughter. I was very active. I was doing many things for her. So I was her assistant since I was 7 years old, maybe even before, but I don't remember. Then I became with her like I will never leave her alone, even if she will go to her my father, with my father, for example. They will go to do shopping anywhere. I'm just begging her. I keep a cry all the time when she's not next to me. Even hospitals, the only place she can go to, it's the hospital to visit my grandfather. And that hospital, they will not let me in because I'm a child. Then I will keep cry till she come back. So to the end, she take me to the hospital with her. She puts me outside at the waiting area because sometimes she can't go without me. So I was really linked, extremely linked to my mom. My father alive. So in my early stages, as to answer your question, we didn't celebrate Mother's Day in my age when I was young enough to, as far as I remember. But then we started later, I think, maybe when I was maybe 14, I started to realize Mother's Day. When I was younger, I didn't. Then I remember twice I gave my mom gifts at that day, which is amazing memory. She was at the hospital, and yeah.
That's fine. Take a moment. This is absolutely natural and normal. So to take a breath and take your time.
Yeah. And it's normal. It's when I cry for my mom, I don't feel sad. That's the point. I wanted to deliver. I didn't get headache as normal cry. I don't. When I remember my mom and I cry, I'm not ashamed of that because it didn't even makes me tired. It's not like others cry.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I want to express. So when I talk about my mom in front of people, I cry like this, and people feel that I'm sad. I'm not. I'm just remembering that moment, and it just makes me more comfortable when I let it go.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. So my mom was. So I remember that too. Mother's Day with my mom. She was in the hospital, and then I brought her flower from the hospital shop downstairs, and then I didn't celebrate it with my grandmother at that time. My mom, she didn't used to give my grandmother gifts in her Mother's Day because we didn't have this heritage at that time. Because I think Muslims are very as well linked to their families, to their moms, to their. We already live with them all the time, all our life, unless if we get married. So we have this collaboration. It's very strong between children and moms and fathers as well. So I've got really good relationship back later on after my mom died when I was 17 with my father. So I become his assistant as well. So I kind of replacing my emotion with my mom to my father. So I'm giving everything I can to support my father. And I become his guardian, he become my guardian, and we lived here in London together. So I've got the feeling of parents, which is alhamdulillah. I become a mother for my brother and sister afterwards, after my mom lost. A real mom till today to them, yes.
Wow.
Wow. Yes. Thank you so much for sharing.
Thank you. But your question, how do you celebrate it? Now I celebrate my Mother's Day intensively. I think more than anyone because I have 6 moms in the UK. One from Dominica, one from Tunisia, and one from England, and one from Scotland, and one from America, and one from part of the UK as well. So they become a real family to me, real family. Every year I call them as well. I keep contact with them.
Oh yeah, Rehan, I remember you celebrated last Christmas with your mother.
Every year in her house, every year for 10 years right now, because I think I developed many moms. That's my strategy. I developed a relationship with my friends' moms as well, a part of those 6 moms. So at the beginning, I have 2 grandmother, which is I am grateful. I have 2 grandmother. My grandmother just died last year, 2019. But my grandmother, she's alive now. She's still alive. My mom. She's a bit sick, but she's alive. She's still alive. We still call her, and she's always praying for us. She's very young. She's not too old. She's only 70. Not too old. Because my mom, when she died, she was 38. So she was very, very extremely young.
Yes. Thank you so much for sharing that coping strategy. I mean, that is really, really good to know that you recognize that you had certain needs that your mum was no longer around to fulfill. And rather than feeling sad that you had no mum, you decided, okay, I still love and honor my mum, but I have these needs of feeling, mothered and have someone to look up to. And then you took steps to make that happen. So once you recognize, not only are you missing the person, but there are roles that they used to play. Maybe they used to take you out shopping, or maybe they used to have fun with you, or they used to be there to give you advice. So recognizing what other roles you're missing and then finding those as a way of adapting to the situation can be a really good strategy. So well done.
Thank you so much. I think it's a good strategy, yes. To me, okay, what is the difficult thing that's what you said, that we have to, the overwhelming we feel sometimes. So I want to do more things to them and a part of the time as well. So I want to be there as well. I felt like they're real to me.
Yeah.
And then now I have responsibility as well to deliver. And this as well, we have to know how to cope with that. Having given the emotion, if you need an emotion, you have to give an emotion too. And you have to co-op as well with other difficulties. And then you're going to have another loss as well. So it's as well that I'm still afraid of losing them too. So I'm still always like, even when anything happen, I call them, we feel that I'm really linked to them, not to call them every day, but we're linked emotionally together and we understand each other. So this loss as well, I'm afraid of it again too.
Yes. And sometimes I know when I had the various losses, it can bring up different things for different people. For me, it brought up my own fear of mortality and death and dying, because I used to think death happened to other people and old people. And so having lost my mother, then a brother, then a sister, then my father, then 3 miscarriages, death became very, very real. And it got me asking all sorts of questions about where are they, what's happened to them, what's going to happen to me. And sometimes something like that can just set you off on searching for the big, asking the big questions of life and finding answers. So it's really great for you to recognize that relationships change, and the love you have, you will always have for them, but it changes if they move away, or if there's a breakdown in the relationship, or if they die. And then learning how to adapt to the new situation in a resourceful way is what helps us to grow through it rather than get stuck or just go through it. So somebody said to me that pain, and there's a lot of pain attached to losses of all sorts, but pain plus reflection is what gives us growth. So we shouldn't live life trying to constantly avoid the pain, but recognize that is a part of life. And as we reflect on it, as we learn from it, as we prepare for it, that we will grow as well. And I think we tend to live in denial that death is real and that we are all going to die. We live our lives in a very casual way, often thinking we're going to live forever. So when these things happen, it teaches us about that we are mortal beings and there is a limited amount of time we have on this earth. It's really important to find out and to work out what is my vision, what is my mission, what is my purpose for the time that I'm here, and how can I give and receive love to the maximum each day. Because yesterday is gone, we can't change it. Tomorrow is not here, we don't know what will happen. All we have is the opportunity to live today to the best of our abilities.
The power of now.
Yes.
The power of now.
Definitely.
Yeah. I call Dr. Rana. I get some better emotions sometimes as well. Dr. Rana and Dr. Ahlam, they always support me as well in my journey too. And they are very good listener, I must say.
You've been so brave, Rehan, and thank you for sharing your story. It's so inspiring, and the way you interpret your grief, it's such an empowering thing to do. Thank you so much, Rehan.
So I would just wanted to mention something that's having as well 3 sisters. I have 3 sisters and one older sister, and she became a mom as well to me because I was a mom. Okay, how does it work? I was 17 years old. My mom died. I have already 2, my brother and my sister. My brother was 10 years old, and my sister 11 years old, and my sister was 8 years old. So at that time, I was young. I was still young, and they're too young, but I was old to them. So my older sister, she's only older than me for 3 years, but she got married at that time, early marriage. So that's why she was out of the house with her husband. Then I was a grandmother too, because my older sister, she used to have her children. My mom used to take care of her children as a grandmother. So our house became my sister's children, and because I took care of them as well. My nephew and my niece, Wajdan and Mohammed, at that time only. And then my brother and sister. And at that time was, to me, I think the strategy I used and I liked at that time was to stood up to my family. I felt like this is my family, this is my area, and nobody can touch it. And this is, I'm gonna put our rules to our house, because at that time, our house was open to everyone to give advice, and everyone wanted to involve, to give help. And I'm sure they love us, they want us, they want everything the best for us. My aunties, my uncles, I would like to thank them from here. They did amazing. They did, we stayed like in our home house, around maybe 50 people together. We sleep at the same house because nobody can leave us at that time. We were so young for them to leave us. And my father was married, a second wife. So for him, I have my father. I love him. He's married to a second wife. My older sister, she's married as well, and I am the one having my brother and sister, and I'm the one I have to wrap all the story. And I have two grandmother, which is they are worried about us, and they take care about us. And I have six uncles, six aunties, five aunties from my mom, and four uncles from my mom. So okay. Now everyone's sad, and my mom is gone. We cannot be happy anymore at that time. And then now I have to deal with it. What I think the best strategy for me, what I did, that's okay, this is my home, this is my family, I'll take care of it. I'm the only one I will give advice to protect my family. And then I was closing many advices coming to me. And then we moved from my hometown to another hometown, and I felt better as well, having different society than the same society, because everyone seeing us will cry at that time.
Yes, yes.
Nobody can smile to us. We stayed like maybe even till today, when I go back to Saudi, every time I see my mom friends, they will cry straight.
Yes,
because
yes.
she was a good mom. She was a good human. She was given everything for her wealth to everybody. So she was someone that went quickly from this life. But in my age, she went when she was 38, in my age, 37. I am 37 right now. And my mom, so the story is, I think, when I stood up at that day, I remember, and I'm saying that it's life and my family can hear that. I loved my family as much. I loved my family, but I loved as well my small family too. And I protected, thank God, likely. The difficult thing was taking decisions towards their future. And I'm still as well taking my decision too, towards my future too. Then we traveled, alhamdulillah. I traveled myself when I was 27. I decided to get my education, and then I've sent my brother and sister to take their education outside as well. And then instead, but it was struggling as well for me to leave them when I was 27, to leave the country to study. And I felt that responsibility. It's my space, it's my place. Either I take them or I can't leave them. But then that decision helped me as well. As you said, it's time has changed. So we change. We always change. So we have to understand that realization that's okay, I gave my part, now it's time to move on.
Yes.
So,
Yes,
and being me strong, they will be stronger too. That's what's happened.
Yes. I think that's a very, very important point. There is a saying that too many cooks can spoil the soup. So everybody wants to do things their way, and they're advising this, and now somebody else is disagreeing. You made a very wise choice to put some boundaries in place, so that you realize that, with too much conflicting advice, and if you're trying to please everybody, you will just end up in a mess. So learning to listen to what you need, especially if you're going through grieving, and putting some boundaries, setting some time aside, knowing who is a safe person to really share with, and who, if you allow them to come too close at this time, will not be beneficial. And it's really hard because we're not used to saying no. We're not used to thinking about what do I really need. The culture generally is about trying to make everybody else happy and trying to please people and try to avoid conflict. But you made some very wise choices to prioritize what was important for your well-being and for the well-being of your family.
Yeah.
And it is about seasons. So each season has its blessings, and each season has its challenges. And learning to understand and get the most out of each season is very important. Otherwise, I was really shocked when somebody said to me she loves the winter. I was like, what? I just want to sleep all winter. And then I thought, actually, the winter is going to happen whether I like it or not. So I might as well learn how to enjoy it. So I asked her, well, tell me, What do you love about winter that I can learn from? And that
We
was a
love
helpful
winter. We
conversation.
love winter. We Arab, we love winter though.
Really?
Yes. So for us, when we see Dr. Rana, tell her when we see the rain and the snow.
Yeah, I'm sure she knows that our countries are mostly sunny all year long.
Oh, sounds like heaven for me.
That's the problem. In our case, no, we're getting sick of the sun because it's too hot
Right, yes.
and we love the rain. A rainy day is a beautiful day to us, unlike you here in England. It's totally the opposite.
Yes, because here it's raining and cold all the time. So, in fact, normally my husband and I, we usually try and visit Goa. Goa is, yes,
Beautiful.
Goa is a beautiful place in India, and his family originally came from there, although he was born in East Africa. And so we usually try to shorten the winter by disappearing to Goa and really enjoying the sun and then coming back. But the reality is seasons will come and seasons will go, and we have no control. What we do have control is how do we make the most of each season? What can we learn? And what is the gift of that season?
I think I would like to end up my talk now with a sentence, and then I want you, please, if you can, interview Dr. Rana, because I know her too much. It's easier for me to hear from you your questions to her. Okay. So I just want to end up my talk to thank every mom comes to my life. Let me put it this way. I think I would like to thank first my mom, my real mom, the one she brought me from her body. And God bless her today and every day. She was a beautiful mom. She was helpful, generous, doing everything she can to all her neighbors, all her friends. She was young, but I've never seen her young. When I was maybe 8 or 10, she was very young. She was 20. But then to me, I thought she's even 100 years old because I see her. She wasn't modern mom. She was in between. She had the heritage. She liked to go to the farm, and she liked to get the milk from the cow. She liked to get the vegetables from the ground. She gave the dates. She gets the dates from the palm herself. She will jump to the palm herself. She would get the dates, and then she would give it to her friends and neighbors. She will never sell it. So she's someone, she do our milk by her. She gets the milk and she will do it again. It wasn't in her age at that time. I'm not saying she just only died 17 years ago. So it's not that much years for her as a wife to do that. But she chose this life because she felt she's belonged to it. We used to travel Europe everywhere. She chose this. She chose village. When we go to Europe, when we were young, she go to countryside. She liked to help women working. She never stay still. And that's what I want to mention about her story. And my grandmothers, they're the real moms to me after my mom, and then my sisters. And then I have my father now. I would like to thank him for all his efforts, as well as my aunties, my uncles, my all future moms as well coming to me, and future friends. They are belonging to me as a mom because they don't have to stay with me for life. A bit having the emotion, it's enough for me. Thank you so much for letting me remembering the best moments in my life.
Thank you so much for sharing from your heart. We're so blessed.
Thank you.
Dr. Rana, would you like to tell us what Mother's Day means for you and share your story?
Thank you. I just want to highlight one sentence that Rehan said, and it is very, very powerful. It's that being strong makes your children stronger. And I agree with that. Yes, they have to see us strong. Otherwise, they won't get the strength to face the problems or the issues in the world. So thank you, Rehan. That's such a powerful point. And for me, Mother's Day is actually thanks to school, that they're teaching the children that it is Mother's Day and you have to celebrate your mothers. Otherwise, I wouldn't tell them that it's Mother's Day and you have to celebrate me. I'm not that kind of a mother. But actually, it's Mother's Day started on Friday. They came from school with these beautiful handmade cards, and they did not. They were planning to wait until Sunday, but they are 11 and 8. They couldn't. They just shared the moment they got into the house. They just shared with me their cards. They were beautiful. This morning, they wake me up just to tell me Happy Mother's Day. It was so lovely. I was about to brag, but when I heard your story, Ghulam, I was a bit jealous that you had the privilege of a breakfast in bed and I didn't. So yeah, hopefully.
My children are much older, so train them now and then you will get that later.
Yeah, maybe in the future. Let's hope so. Yeah. So it's beautiful to have a day actually to just dedicated to mothers and just to listen to the feelings and to the emotions of your children or anyone else express about their mothers and the love and the affection. It's beautiful just to step back and listen to our emotion. That's nice. That's very nice.
And what about your relationship with your mother?
I'm the eldest.
Right.
My mother is settled in Saudi Arabia now. I have a very strong relationship with her. And to be honest, the older generation did not, as Rehan said, did not celebrate Mother's Day. And I didn't say anything to my mother on Mother's Day. But today, and thanks to Rehan, I decided to take the first step and I called my mother and I say, Happy Mother's Day. And I wasn't sure how is she going to react, but she loved it. She loved it. And and she enjoyed it. And I know I feel guilty. I didn't do that years ago and I didn't start that years ago. So thank you, Rehan. That was a lovely moment to express my feelings to my mother and in this day. So yeah, it was really nice.
That's fantastic. And really, as you say, you can't change the past, but you can learn from it and then move forward with a fresh start from today. So I would encourage you to just lay down that guilt and say to yourself, well, better late than never. Exactly. And now you're going to make up for, the times that maybe you felt you didn't.
Yeah. Exactly.
Well done. Well done.
Thank you. And I have, I wasn't preparing for doing anything, but today at 3, before we started our webinar, I said, what do mothers do? And then I created this tiny bit of a presentation.
That's nice.
Yeah, so it's a funny one. So don't expect much. Let me just pull it up so quickly. I don't know.
We have as well picture to share later with
how can I share, Rehan? Can you tell me?
Yes, your co-host right now. Just press share screen.
Yeah, it shows to me desktop, then Google Chrome.
Okay.
I have
choose what desktop, and then if it's open, it will open for you. Choose the first screen.
Okay, I got you now.
In the left side and top. Have you?
No, I'll pull up my presentation and then I will share the screen first, just to make sure I have, because I have my emails opening and you don't want to see.
Okay, yes, okay. Then open only the page. It has the content that you want.
Yeah, just a second. Here it is. Now I can share, I think.
You can just stop sharing first.
Yeah, can you stop sharing, Rehan?
Oh, yes.
Thank you. And then if you open the PowerPoint or the things that you want to share it.
It is open now.
Yes. Oh, nice.
Oh, nice.
Rana.
Wow. All right, just a second. Right.
Bravo.
So you can see it here, right?
Yes.
Good.
Very nice.
Wow.
So what do mothers do? Ideas. So I started to pull up the things that we don't usually recognize, but we do. So soldiers.
you.
Yeah. Mothers are really like soldiers. They protect, as all of you just said, we protect our family from the tiny things. And this is a picture that's been used by a brand named Lyson. They produce cleaning products, and the best way to express big protection from germs is by using mothers, because they are big representations of the protection. So they are using mothers to brand their cleaning product. So this is how strong, or how, protective mothers are. Psychiatrists. And yes, mothers are psychiatrists. They listen to all of their children's problems, concerns, issues, and they give some advice. And that's huge. That's huge, just to listen to every day, and sometimes to more than one a day. So doctors. They are doctors. They take care of the children. And if sometimes they come up with you asking, oh, I have a pain here and I have pain, and you go to research and find out how can we cure that, or how can we do that. So it's not easy. Google. Yes, mothers are Google.
Rana, I love it. I love it.
They are expected to know all the answers of all the whys in the world, and all the hows in the world, and where and how and who and what. So when I have lots of questions, sometimes I cannot even keep up with. Teachers, we all agree with that. We help with the homework, we help with the project, we have everything. And entertainers. Yes, the minute they are bored, they come straight to the mothers. We're bored, what to do? So you're playing with them. Sometimes you be the magician. You can read for them. So
true.
And I do that a lot. They always lose their stuff, and I have to go there and find it for them. Thank you. I have a lot, but I didn't have
brilliant. That's brilliant.
It's brilliant.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
Beautiful.
How
did you come up with this idea? It's amazing.
And from the very first questions, what do mothers do, Rehan? And I start coming up with these ideas. Yes, I do that. Yes, I do that. Yes, I do that. So I just enhance some pictures.
Amazing.
This reminds me of a story about my mother, actually. My father used to come home from work, and he used to say, "You've been," and there was, we were a lot. There were 6 of us, 6 children. And he used to come home. He'd say, "What have you been doing all day? Look at the state of this place. You haven't cooked anything. Blah blah blah." He'd be going on like this. One day she said, "Look, if you think it's so easy, I'll go out for the day, and you stay at home." And he thought it would be really easy, but he had no idea what he was letting himself in for. And so that day we were coming, "Dad, I'm hungry. Dad, I'm thirsty. Dad, so-and-so stolen this. Dad, so-and-so's fighting with that." By the time she came home, he was so happy to see her. He said, "I will never, ever, ever ask you again, what do you do all day?" It's much easier being at work than it is being at home, trying to manage everything that goes on. So it's a good lesson for him.
Yeah.
Mothers do a lot.
They do, exactly. Yeah.
So you have 2 daughters. They wakes you up today, Dr. Rana.
I have 3 children. I have
2 daughters and 1 boy.
16-year-old boy, 11 and 8 girls. I'm a single mom and a PhD student. What can I say? I was about, I don't know. Let me share with you some moments we lived during this difficult time, which is COVID-19. Yeah, by last March, specifically last March, when the pandemic hit us and lockdown started everywhere, and we are deprived of everything, like nothing, just staying at home, and even there were no online classes or something. So there was an app called TikTok. I'm not sure if you are familiar with, where you can create your own short videos and funny videos or whatever. So I created this account, private account for my children, and every day I encourage them to do whatever to express themselves using TikTok. It was really fun. They started doing these funny things. They come up with great ideas, and I'm saving
What
it.
do you do for them? Because I want something to help me to enter TikTok, though.
Sorry.
What do you do for them for TikTok?
I don't do that, Rehan. They do it themselves. They choose the song. They choose what are they gonna do. They choose the movement. They choose. It's the app is so powerful. They let you choose. Yeah. So, and they started doing this, and I keep them all the videos, and I'm hoping someday I'll share these with them and tell them that was 2020's memories when the pandemic started. So, yeah.
Very resourceful.
Do they post their videos or you keep it for them?
I'm sorry, Han, again?
Do you post their videos or you keep it for
private.
them?
They're all private, so
private.
we have the access to it, yeah.
That's good. So when are you planning to let them go in public in TikTok, your daughters?
No, for sure. I don't think I will.
Yeah, it's a hard decision, right?
It is.
It's a very hard decision.
I don't think I have the power to let them there. I don't approve that children should be on social media in any shape or form. I think it's their private life, and they get to choose that once they are old enough to choose it.
What is the age for TikTok and for children?
I don't think it's allowed for children. It's supposed
to.
No,
yeah?
Yeah, it's supposed to be.
Then Layan, my niece, she's using it and she's not allowed to use it.
How old is she?
She's 13.
I think they allowed to be 18.
Yeah, I'm not sure, Ahlam, if it's 18 or 12. I'm not sure, but definitely it's not.
I learned something now that you're not allowed to use it.
Well,
Layan,
listen.
If you listen to this.
If it is in private, let her keep up. It's a way of expressing themselves.
Yes. Her account is private.
Then, yeah.
But she's using TikTok.
Well, again, I think if it's a private, I think it's a way of expressing themselves there.
Okay, if Layan, if you listen to this, please make sure to give me a proper answer. Why are you using TikTok right now? So let's go back to Dr. Rana. Dr. Rana, will you tell me a story about when you remember your mom? Because you've been here a student for years and you've been to America as well as a student too. So you've been abroad for a long time. I'm sure there is a stories that comes to your head when you remember your mom. Would you just give us a story about your generous mom briefly?
Sure. Yeah. Well, my mom is my mom and my children's mom as well. So when Abdullah, my eldest son, was young, I wasn't his mother, to tell the truth. My mom was his mother.
Oh.
He was living with her the whole time. I was teaching. I think I was teaching at that moment. He lived with her. He called her mom. The whole first year is his first year. She was taking care of him. She's changing him. She's doing everything for him. I'm there just for, how can I say it? Hi, my son, and then just leave. She really took care of him, and she loved him so much, and still does. She still thinks that Abdullah is her own, not mine.
Yeah.
So I can't imagine myself doing the same, to be honest, with my children. When I'm a grandmother, I can't imagine.
I think you will do the same, because do you think? Sorry, what Dr. Ahmed say it?
Yeah, I said I faced the same.
Yeah,
the same situation, because when my daughter Dana, I think my age was 16 years old, and my mom took care of her as I'm studying, and the same situation with me.
Quite selfish act, yes, I agree. To take care.
Yeah.
Now my daughter Dana and Abdullah, they called my mom as well mom.
Yeah.
True. Yeah.
So we have this, it's like for us when the mom, and especially in as well in religion, in Saudi culture, we have this, that's when when the daughter get children, the mother will take care of it. So instead of having nanny, so the mother will continue the story. Right, Dr. Ahlam?
Yeah, she support me to continue my studying. Yeah.
How did she support you?
Yeah, I just when I have my first daughter, I was 16
Yes, sure.
years old, and actually my daughter stayed with her all the time, as I still am in high school, and we stayed in school about 8 hours, and this is too much. Yeah. And she prepared the lunch for me. She prepared everything for my daughter. And yeah, thank you for her.
Thank you.
Wow. Wow.
We have as well here in host Dr. Masha'al Batarfi. As well, she's a student at Reading University. We share similar supervisor as well. I would like to welcome you, Dr. Masha'al. Can you hear me? She's not here yet. Okay, we continue then. Dr. Masha'al, can you hear me?
She has to unmute.
Could you unmute yourself? Ask to unmute. Okay. Yes. No. Okay, we continue with Dr. Rana and then we'll move on. Thank you.
Let's move on to Ahlam and listen to her story with Mother Day.
Yes, okay. دكتور أحلام من جامعة نيوكاسل. دكتور أحلام, a mother, she will tell us now, بتعلمنا إن شاء الله. أنا الحين I will be confused in Arabic and English.
Yeah.
دكتور أحلام عندها ما شاء الله تبارك الله 3 أو 4 أطفال. دكتور أحلام.
Yeah, 4 أطفال.
ما شاء الله. So she is a mom already. رئيسة النادي السعودي في نيوكاسل. نبارك لك ذلك.
الله يبارك فيك.
طالبة دكتوراه في مجال علم النفس في جامعة نيوكاسل. تخرجت من جامعة بالولايات المتحدة أيضا، فمغتربة لفترة. كيف تحتفلين بيوم الأم عادة؟
طيب، أولا نشكرك ريحان، نشكر منصة ريادية على إتاحة الفرصة لي للتحدث عن هذا اليوم العظيم للأم. طبعا احنا كلها أيام عيد لأمنا، للأمهات جميعا، والله يرحم الأموات منهم. أولا الأم هي الملاذ الآمن والحصن المنيع الذي يختبئ فيه الأبناء مهما بلغوا من الأعمار. لذلك أقدم عظيم الشكر والامتنان لأمي التي ضحت من أجلي أنا وإخوتي، والدور العظيم الذي قامت به أمي من أجلي، خاصة إلى أن وصلت لهذه المرحلة. طبعا ما يسعني الوقت أني أسرد جميع أفضالها علي، لكن الأم هي تعاليم الحياة ودروسها علمتني كيف أكون امرأة مستقلة بذاتي، واثقة من قدراتي، أحترم إنسانيتي. أخذت منها القوة والشجاعة في إبداء الرأي، وعلمتني أيضا القراءة والكتابة قبل سن المدرسة، فأصبح التعليم والاستمرار به أحد أهدافي إلى الآن. طبعا أنا عادة ما أحتفل بيوم الأم، ولا يعني العادة هذه ما جرت لدينا أنا وأولادي، ولكن بحكم أننا مغتربين من 2012 يعني اعتادوا في المدارس أن يكتبوا كروت للأم، يحتفلوا بها، بجانب أيضا يعني الهدايا اللي قدموها. فاعتادوا أبنائي من 2012 إنه يقدمون الهدايا ويقدمون الكروت. اليوم أولادي صحيوا الصباح بدري وطلبوا وجبة إفطار مميزة، وأفطرنا مع بعض جميعا، وبعدها يعني شفنا فيلم مع بعض، والآن أنا معاكم.
ما شاء الله تبارك الله. يعني أنت اليوم اخترتينا على أولادك وإحنا أخذناكي من أولادك، إحنا آسفين.
إحنا من الصباح مع بعض، يعني من الصباح يعني كنا مع الأولاد، والآن يعني أنا قاعدة قلت لأمي إن شاء الله إن راح نسجل هذا اللقاء وراح أسمعها، لذلك أنا تكلمت باللغة العربية.
Okay. Let me explain this to Golam. Golam, she wanted to speak in Arabic because her mom wanted to listen to this record. And we
Very good.
want to translate as well our words, what we're saying as well to them, for them to feel comfortable later on to hear it. And we want to deliver our message to different languages. That's why. And excuse us, yes, for 10 minutes or
Fine,
so.
no problem.
It's very good to hear as well the tone in Arabic too.
Yes.
Rehan,
Thank you. Yes, Dr. Rana?
I'm just telling you that I am translating for Golam in the chat, so no worries about the translation.
Oh, that's good. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay, Dr. Ahlam. So your mom, you lived with your mom till which age before you get married?
Yes, 16 years old, yeah.
Wow.
Yes,
And you become a mother when you were at young age as well.
yes, in 16 years old, yeah. And my mother took care of me and for my daughter and as well my son.
Wow. So your mom played two roles
Yes,
together.
yeah, she always support me and my kids, yeah.
يعني ما شاء الله تبارك الله. خلينا نتكلم بالعربية.
Okay.
أنا يعني فعليا أنا ما أعرف إيش طبيعة الكلتشر للمدينة اللي أنتم فيها، مثلا في المملكة العربية السعودية، في ثقافة الجدة أو الأم، وكيف إنه إحنا عندنا مثلا في الحسا الأم خلص يعني هي الجدة، إحنا بيت الجدة وبعدين بيت الأم. بيت الجدة يعتبر بيت الأم نفسه، بيت جدة الأم، يعني بيت أم الأم. فأنتوا كيف مثلا، أنت مين أقرب لك، بيت أم الأم ولا أم الأب؟
لا، الحقيقة إنه أنا طبعا من جهة والدتي، جدتي فقط هي اللي الله يطول في عمرها موجودة. جدي أنا متوفي من كان عمر الوالدة يمكن 9 سنوات. فهي طبعا هي وحيدة العائلة، طبعا ما عندي أنا خوال ولا خالات. بجانب إنه أيضا الوالد يعني عندي عمة واحدة وكانوا أجداد يعني الآن الله يرحمهم متوفين من تقريبا 4 سنوات. لكن إحنا اعتدنا إن دائما مع أمي، يعني لكوننا إحنا خلاص يعني مع بعض، وجدتي موجودة في يعني في منطقة بعيدة تبعد عنا تقريبا 2.5 ساعة، فما يمدينا نروح عندها. فإحنا دائما مع الوالدة الله يخليها لنا، هي دائما تساعدني أنا وأخواتي، ودائما تشجعنا نكمل دراستنا، وإنه ما في شيء يوقفنا الحمد لله. فإلى الآن يعني الحمد لله أنا وأخواتي كلنا كملنا دراستنا، وأخواني أختي اللي بعدي الآن هي طبعا طالبة دكتوراه في جامعة برمنغهام، وأختي اللي بعدها إدارة مستشفيات ماجستير الآن، وأختي الرابعة هي الآن بيدياتريك في الحرس الوطني. الحمد لله كلنا ساعدتنا بالرغم أننا تزوجنا في أعمار صغيرة، ولكن هي كانت داعمة لنا دائما.
الحمد لله. طب تبكي لما تتذكرينها أحيانا، لما تحسين emotional؟
أكيد، وأنا أشتاق لها كثير. وهذه الفترة طبعا فترة اللوك داون والفيروس، الله يكفينا إن شاء الله ويحمينا. ما زرت السعودية إلا في 2018، على بداية 2019 أنا رجعت هنا تقريبا، أخذت شهرين وبعدها ما قدرت أنزل السعودية، لأنه كانت البلان حقتي إنه أنزل في 2020 بس إنه ما قدرت. ولكن أمي قريبة مني، يعني أنا يوميا أكلمها، وسائل الاتصال أفضل الآن يعني.
الحمد لله. نعم صحيح.
وهي دائما تحضر معايا طبعا الإيفنتات اللي بنعملها، ودائما
ما شاء الله ممتاز.
هي دائما قريبة مني وتسمع لي. الوالد عندي شوية مو قريب من ما يحب اللي هو التواصل بالفيديو وهذه الأشياء. فهو يعني إحنا كل يوم جمعة نكلمه، كل 3 أيام نتواصل معه، نشوف الطريقة المناسبة ونتواصل معه. فأكيد إن إحنا نشتاق لهم.
أكيد طبعا. أنا عشان كذا إحنا المبتعثين تختلف جدا تجربتنا عن تجربة الأشخاص اللي موجودين الآن بالمملكة العربية السعودية وقريبين من أهاليهم. نحن يمكن نترجم شوقنا بطريقة فيرتشوال، بطريقة افتراضي، فمختلف تماما، وممكن يكون مركز أكثر لأنه نعطيه أكثر اهتمام ونعطيه أكثر وقت ونعطيه أكثر تركيز في الوقت. يمكن لما كانت موجودة جنبك 24 ساعة يمكن ما راح تكلمينها كل يوم، بتاخذين الوقت المستقطع هذا حتى تكلميها. أنا أشوف المكالمات التليفونية جدا كافية حاليا، خاصة في الوقت الجائحة. بدأت تعطيني شبه الإفكت حق الطبيعي والحقيقي اللي كنت أشوفه قبل، أو يمكن أني أنا تعودت عليه من وجهة نظري. بس دكتور أحلام، being mother، أنت لما أنت كنت أنت أم الآن، إيش أشياء أنت ودك أنت يعني الحين صرتي تسوينها حق أولادك ودك تسوينها to your mom، ودك تسوينها نفس الشيء لأمك؟ يعني حسيتي زي مثلا الريجريت اليوم، مثلا الواحد يجيه ريجريت أحيانا إنه وده he's expecting something from his children and he wants to give it to his mom as well, or he didn't get it. Do you get my question?
No.
يعني أنت الحين ما هي الأشياء اللي تحسين أنت تعطينها أولادك، خدمة أنت تسوينها لأولادك، حسيتي إنك ودك تسوينها لأمك في نفس الوقت أيضا، لما تعملين الفطور مثلا، لما تعملين رياضة، أو لما إيش الأشياء اللي تحسين ودك إن أمك تكون هي في وقت أولادك؟ لأني أنا ليش سألتك هذا السؤال؟ استخدمت أنا الاستراتيجي، الأشياء اللي أنا أبغى أسويها لماما الله يرحمها صرت أسويها لإخواني، فصرت أخذ نفس البنفت. يعني كنت أنا أبغى أهتم في ماما، أشتري لها شيء جديد يمكن يفرحها، صرت أشتري لإخواني أفرحهم، فصرت أخذ نفس الإيموشن.
طيب أنا ما أعتقد أن السؤال يعني لو أمي عندي أنا يعني راح أقدم لها أكثر مما أقدمه لأطفالي حقيقي. يعني الشيء اللي أنا قاعدة أقدمه لأطفالي هي الشيء المناسب لهم، لكن طبعا الأم ما في يعني شيء يقارن بالشيء اللي أنا قاعدة أقدمه لأطفالي. أمي أصلا قدمت لي الكثير، فأنا لو هي متواجدة الآن معايا، يعني أنا كان ما أعرف يعني أشياء تفوق الخيال. يعني أول شيء وجودها معايا أمان، وجودها معايا حقيقي، وجودها معايا يحسسني إني يعني وأنا الحين single mom here with 4 kids. This is يعني very hard to me with this hard situation now. يعني إذا أمي معايا تكفيني عن كل العالم خلاص. ف ما أعرف إيش الشيء المناسب اللي أنا أقوله الآن. ما أعرف.
يعني أنا أقصد أنه حاجة مثلا أنت الحين في وقت الغربة تتمني تسويها مع أمك اليوم. مثلا خلينا نخلي السؤال أبسط. اليوم أنت تتمشين في لندن، لو رحتي تتمشين في نيوكاسل، وين تشوفين الوالدة ودك توريها؟ ودك توريها الجامعة مثلا؟ ودك انك تجي معاكي وين المكان اللي تحسين امك راح تكون تنبسط فيه اكثر معك مع اولادك؟
ايوه، الوالده عندي ما تعشق المباني تعشق الطبيعه والبحر، هي نفسي. فهي دائما يعني حتى لما اجي انا اصور لها ما اختار لها المباني او الكاسل وهذه لا، انا اختار لها الطبيعه، المزارع اللي اروح لها، المطر. هي مره تحب المطر.
She likes rain. Her mom likes rain.
yeah.
كلهم.
and الفواكه، يعني أنا الآن أنت شفتي ريحان عندي في المزرعة في شوية فواكه، فهي دائما تحب إني أصورها لها.
ما شاء الله.
هي تحب.
She likes the flower as well.
Yeah, she likes, yeah. and yeah، أيوة، لو هي معايا كنت يعني طلعت رحنا المزارع اللي هنا موجودة حوالينا في نيوكاسل. أوقات المطر كنا خرجنا برا، فهي تحب هذه الأجواء فعلا. ودائما لما يجي مطر أو أنا أروح مزرعة، هي يعني على طول أتذكرها وعلى طول أصور لها. أحيانا أقول لها ما أصور لها كثير علشان هي ما تشتاق كثير لهذا المكان، يعني وهي مو قادرة الآن تيجي مع اللوك داون هذه الأمور يعني.
So if I ask you a question, what's we gonna deliver for if you're gonna make a surprise for her right now? What do you think the most surprise she will get from you?
اليوم
اليوم.
اليوم أنا أرسلت لها طبعا أنا وأخواتي وأخوي عملنا لها مفاجأة عشاء وفي مطعم واشترينا لها هدايا حلوة. بس الحلو إن هي ما راح تسمع هذا الفيديو إلا بعد ما تخلص يعني إن شاء الله.
الحمد لله.
فإحنا عملنا لها شوية مفاجأة حلوة، وفي حاجة هي كانت تتمناها وعملناها لها إن شاء الله، واليوم إن شاء الله راح تشوفها بإذن الله تعالى.
شكرا لك دكتور أحلام على مشاركتك القصة الجميلة جدا، والتكنيك كمان، التكنيك للشوق. طيب ماذا تعملين؟ تكلمينها تليفون.
الحقيقة في حاجة، إحنا قبل فترة، إحنا 2019 كنا مجهزين رحلة عائلية للوالد والوالدة إنهم يزوروا بريطانيا، ولكن لظروف يعني المفاجئة والمرض واللوك داون اللي حصل اضطرينا نلغي جميع الرحلات. فلذلك يعني إن شاء الله نقول إنه السنة الجاية بإذن الله تعالى، أو السنة أو نهاية هذه السنة تقدر تجي ونرجع الحجوزات نفس ما كانت.
إن شاء الله إن شاء الله. كلمة أخيرة للوالدة تهدينها ولأمهات العالم. To all women all over the world.
إن شاء الله يعني إن شاء الله أول شيء الله يرحم الأمهات اللي منهم متوفي، ويخلي لنا إن شاء الله ويطول في أعمار أمهاتنا اللي موجودين الآن، وإن شاء الله يجعلنا من البارين الصالحين فيهم إن شاء الله بإذن الله تعالى.
بإذن الله تعالى. شكرا لك دكتور أحلام لمشاركتك، رئيسة نادي نادي نيوكاسل من جامعة نيوكاسل. شكرا لك لمشاركتك مشاعرك الجميلة، وإحنا متفقين إنه كل يوم هو يوم الأم، كل ساعة وكل دقيقة.
شكرا دكتور ريحان، وشكرا دكتور رنا، وشكرا دكتور جولم. Thank you so much for the lovely information that you shared with us.
شكرا دكتور رنا، دكتور جولم، عبد الكريم، دكتور مشاعل. Do you have any question for Dr. Ahlam?
I just want to clarify, I'm not a doctor.
Okay,
I'm just Gulam. Thank you for the sign of respect. But
I called, to be honest with you, let me answer this because I have to clarify this point.
Yes.
I always make mistake for it, and I want to me, I think, okay, let me define doctorate. Doctorate, it's philosophy, it's a thinking point of something. So if I'm going to call you a doctor as a doctor for certificates, I think I'm not a doctor too. Dr. Rana, she's not doctor too. None of us yet a doctor. But I mean, why I'm calling you as well a doctor? It's not, I think, it's because you're expert in your area.
Yes.
So you're a doctor in your area without certificates. So even
I just wouldn't want it to be confusing, so that's why I'm clarifying.
But I mean, for someone call you a doctor, sometimes they try to accept it because for me, I don't accept it as well, and I confuse people. No, I'm still a student, stuff like that. But I think to you as well, you can become, I am a professional in this area, so I can become a doctor in this area. You're still a researcher. To me, I think it's, I will not say it if I don't mean it, but sometimes I say it because I have a lot of doctors around me. Thank you so much. You are a doctor in your area, because what is doctorate? It's searching about something, and then you get answer for it, or maybe not as well at the end of the day.
Thank you.
Thank you. I would like to welcome Dr. Masha'al Batarfi. I'm not sure if she's ready to talk right now.
Hello.
Yes, Dr. Masha'al Batarfi. She's as well a president of Saudi Club at Reading. Reading, it's my university. And she is employed as a president from the Saudi Cultural Bureau very lately. We shared similar supervisor, Professor Mark Kasson, at our PhD level right now. She's searching an women in football, which is very interesting topic. Today, Dr. Masha'al Batarfi, we want to hear your story about your mom, and do you celebrate Women's Day. Thank you.
Yeah, hello everyone, and thank you, Rehan, for inviting me. My name is Mashal Batarfi. I'm doing my PhD in economics. At the beginning, I want to say thank you for all the mothers are there in this world. One day, one of my Chinese friend, he told me an idiom in Chinese. He said, if a lady can be a mom, then she can do anything. So, and he said this is a very common idiom in Chinese language, because once the lady become a mom, then she can do anything.
Yeah.
Like he said, you can, because one day the electricity power was cut off in my house. So I'm the one who fixed it. So then I called him. He said, "Did you fix it?" I said, "Yes." And then he asked me, "How did you fix it?" Then I explained to him, and he said, "Are you sure? Are you doing your PhD in economics?" I said, "Yes." He said, "You don't have any knowledge in electricity or engineering?" I said, "No, I don't have any. I just try to manage it. So I have to manage it because there is no other way to manage it. I can't wait for the next day because I don't have a power at my house." So until the guy, he came the next day. So it's a very difficult time, and when I grown up now, I know how my mom, she suffered a lot, and to raise us during the early ages. I have 3 kids. My oldest are twins at the age of 15.
Wow.
And it's very difficult to raise the kids in this age, teenagers. It's very, very difficult, especially at this country. And my little one, he's in year 4. He's around 9 years old, and it's also it's very difficult to raise the kids. And I understand how the difficulties that my mom used to face when we were young, especially that I have 3 brothers and 3 sisters, and it's really, really difficult. And it's been very difficult year for my mom, because
Yeah.
my mom and my dad, they got COVID in November last year, and I lost my dad. And my mom now, she's lonely all of the time, and it's very, very difficult year for everyone everywhere, basically. And the struggle is really everywhere. So, but now my mom, I'm trying to call her 3 times, twice a day sometimes, and it's a very difficult time now. And I did not basically prepare anything for her, because she moved to my sister's house in Riyadh, and basically I don't know anything in Riyadh. But my sister, she told me that she will manage it. I think I'll wait until my mom, she will go back to Jeddah. Then I'll manage to send her something, because it will be in soon Ramadan time. So
Have you called her?
Sorry.
Have you called her today?
Yeah. When I joined the session, the meeting, she called me. That's why I could not answer you. So I asked her, "Can I call you back?" Because I know my mom. She sometimes, whenever she got bored, or she doesn't want to talk to. When my mom, basically, I'm very close to my mom. And whenever she feels upset, or she has something to say, immediately she will call me. And sometimes my sisters and my brother, they feel so jealous, especially my sister in Saudi. They said, why are you calling her while she's another country and we are here? When my sister, she's in my sister house, and my sister, she's saying, "Okay, I'm staying with you in the same house. Why are you calling her?" And my other sister, also in Jeddah, both of them, they feel jealous basically. So but
That's normal jealousy. Even me, I feel jealous from my sisters if they talk to each other.
It's normal, you know, because I think even for me, sometimes I like to speak to my daughter more than my son, you know. And my daughter, if I'm absent or if I have something in mind immediately, she will come to me and she will ask what is going on or what makes you upset or so on. And today she made me a pancake in a heart shape, by the way. So it was so it was a very, very nice meal for it was very nice for meal for the breakfast meal today. And I don't know, I have
all of you had the best breakfast this morning. You made
yeah,
me
you
full
see?
time. So-
But I'm the one who prepared the lunch now.
Okay, that's
The big meal, I'm the one who prepared it.
that's. I think
She did the easy job.
yes. I think Dr. Golam will have a question for Dr. Masha'el for experience in loss as well.
Yeah. Well, one comment I want to make. I don't know if you have heard of something called the 5 love languages.
No.
Okay, so we usually show love in the way that we like to experience it. So you were saying earlier about, you know, you will do something for her. And the 5 love languages, so some people feel very loved if they get a special thoughtful present. That's their love language. Some people really like quality time. Some people like physical affection. And physical affection, quality time, presence. Some people like kind words. So when you say, you know, I really love that you do this or that, you know, they love positive and kind affirmations, kind words. And some people love kind actions. So my husband and I, you know, for a long time, we used to have a strange conversation where I would say, but do you really love me? Because every day I say
This
to
is
you,
very
I love
common
you.
question.
Every day I say to you, I love you, but you never say it to me. And he said, oh, words are cheap. Every day I show you how I love you. I'm always doing things for you. And then when we went on a marriage course and they talked about love languages, we realized that I was saying I love you to him because that's what I like to hear, but I was not thinking of what makes him feel loved. So this is a very important concept in terms of showing your mother love, thinking about what makes her feel loved, and then doing the things that make her feel loved rather than doing what you would like and makes you feel loved. And that can make a big difference. And also with our children as well, again, start noticing what is it that makes them feel loved. Is it kind words or kind actions or physical affection or quality time or presence? And until you learn the other person's love language, you know, they might not realize how much you love them.
I agree with you. My mom, she, of course, every we are as a lady, we like to receive gift, physical and especially gold.
Not everybody. Not everybody. Some people, gifts mean nothing to them. They prefer kind actions, but gifts might be an important one for you. And so, but the trouble is sometimes we assume what's important to us is to others, and we'll express love to them in the way we like to. So we'll be giving lots of presents, but if that's not their love language, they'll say, oh, that's very nice, but they'll put it aside and they won't really feel special. So there is a book by Gary Chapman, and maybe on YouTube as well, there'll be talks by Gary Chapman called The 5 Love Languages. And he's written it for 5 love languages of families and couples and, you know, children and teenagers. It's a very, very helpful thing to understand, because it really means that your relationships work better when you know the other person's love language.
And what kind of advice will you give, for example, for Dr. Mishal now? She lost her father very soon, like just in November, and because of COVID, because of struggling with other issues as well. So she was struggling even before he died. So it was like a long time, and she's a PhD student. She's been through a really difficult time as a mother as well.
Yes. So I think what I would say to you is to take time to reflect on what's happened. Notice what are your coping strategies, but be quick to ask for help, because that is a lot to deal with. And it's very helpful to have the right tools and processes that can help you to reflect and process things. Please feel free to give me a call, because this is a very short time.
Okay.
Please feel free to give me a call. I offer people a free half-hour discovery call where you have a chance to explain what losses you're dealing with, and then it gives me an idea of what will be a good fit for you going forward.
Okay, that will be great.
Yeah.
Because
Okay, thank you for your advice. Thank you.
But for me, I see Dr. Mishal always positive, spreading love and helpful activities as well to us as a students, and even at the university level too. She's very active too. So that's why I kind of see her personality that's she likes to look forwards as well, and she can.
I like to keep. I like to keep positive. I like to keep myself busy. You know, especially after November. It's been very difficult time. You know, and what made it more difficult for me that because I have two brothers and one of my sister here in the UK. So when my family, they call me from Saudi, they ask me to pass on the message for my brothers and my sister because I'm the oldest. Just give me a second, huh? دقيقة يا أنس. دقيقة. So they asked me to pass on the message to them, and it was very, very difficult. And I sometimes I just sit and I try to process. It took me some time to process what's happened, because it's happened very, very quickly. And my mom, she got COVID as well, and she was admitted to the hospital as well, but she alhamdulillah, she recovered. She went home and she's fine. But when I think about it, what happened during these 5-6 weeks, it was very, very difficult time, because even my dad before that, he wasn't feeling well, and he was supposed to do the surgery for he has an issue with blood clotted in his brain, and he lost half of his memory, so he doesn't remember everything. He doesn't remember everything happened. So but I think now I'm much better, and I'm trying to keep myself busy. So maybe that's why I nominated myself to be the president of the Saudi club in Sweden. Yeah, because I think I want to keep myself busy. Otherwise, I'll just start to think about what happened, and it's really, really difficult. It took me very, very long time to process it. You know.
Yes.
Yeah, but now I'm much better. Sorry.
So I was going to say, I would just like to make a comment. There are 6 very common myths that can actually not be very helpful in the long run. And one of them is keep busy. Now, the thing about keeping busy is it makes you feel different. So you think that you're actually feeling better. But actually what it's doing is it's distracting us from the work that we need to do to reflect on what's happened, process what's happened, experience the sadness, learn from it, and start adapting to a new way of life. So a client that I had recently, she had a number of difficult losses. And what she did was she said, this was her explanation. She said, it's like I put all my grief into a box, I boxed it up and I put it on a high shelf. And then I've kept myself very busy and acting like, okay, I can forget about it. Now, the thing about that is, it's a bit like if I put some food in a container and put it in my fridge, and then I forget about it, it doesn't go away. It stays there. And over time, it starts to rot and become worse. And then sooner or later, it will, you will need to attend to it. So keeping busy is one of the things that can keep us distracted from really dealing with what the cause is. We're dealing with the symptoms, we're trying to not focus on it, we're being distracted, but actually it stops us from really dealing with what we need to deal with and processing. Another common myth is give it time. Time is the healer. Actually, it's not time that's the healer, it's what you do during that time. And somebody gave the example that if your tire is burst, you could sit there for 10 years waiting for it to reflate itself. Time isn't going to do it. You have to take some action. You either have to call for help if you don't know how to change the tire, or you have to take out the tire and, fix the tire and change it and so on. So for you, I would say that you're obviously keeping yourself busy, you're trying to stay positive, but if you haven't had a chance to really review and learn from your losses and see if there is any undelivered communication or things that you wish you had said or done that were different, then it will continue to be there and draining your energy. And somebody said it's a bit like carrying a rucksack. Every time you have a loss event, it's like a rock is put in your rucksack in the pack, and it gets heavier and heavier. And to start with, you can, you've got capacity, you can carry on, but sooner or later it will wear you down and it will drag you down. So we encourage people to, learn the process of actually examining what's happened, processing what's happened, so that they can really heal from the cause, not just hide the symptoms. And some people keep busy, some people start doing other things, and we call these short-term energy relieving behaviors. Some people take up a lot of exercising or overeating, or they start drinking or smoking, or some people start doing a lot of cleaning. People have all sorts of different ways to distract themselves from the pain of what really is going on. But unless you deal with that pain, it's a bit like having a weed in your garden. If you don't dig it out, it will just keep growing, and it will stop you from growing the things you really want in your life. So, but there is help available, and the grief recovery method is a very, very good way of empowering you. It's very different from counseling. As I said, you learn the tools and the processes and the knowledge that you need to be able to really process your grief resourcefully. I hope that's helpful.
Yeah, I really agree with you. I like your advice, but I just sometimes I just need sometimes just to sit with myself and just trying to, as you said, like I reflect what's happened, and I'm trying to to manage my my emotion and to think about it, and but the first 2 months was very, very difficult, to be honest. It's between December, and it was the Christmas time, and it's the lockdown started. Oh my God, it was I was extremely I don't want to, because I had a depression long time ago, so I don't want to get into that mood again,
Yes.
So I just try. Some of my friends, they just call me every day during Christmas, and I'm glad that my supervisor, he was very, very supportive, and I just asked him to I'm want to leave. I'm not doing any work, so I just stopped working on my research for around 4 or 5 weeks during Christmas. And then after Christmas, it was the time to the kids and the homeschooling. And it was, oh my God, it's really, really, it was very horrible time for me. But now I think, I think I got used to it now. You know, sometimes I don't like to go out. I think I started to accept the fact, you know. And when I remember my dad that he wasn't feeling well, he need this operation, and he was admitted for the operation, and then he got the COVID. I know this is, I believe this is from Allah. I think, you know, this is from God, you know. And I don't wanna, I'm sure he is in a better place. But now I think I'm much better. I think in February I started to back on track, as they usually say, and I presented my second chapter by end of February, and it was very, very good. I'm really, I received very, very positive feedback.
Yes, well done.
Yeah, thanks a lot. Thank you. And the kids now back to school, so I think we just back to normal. I think this in between March and by end of March and February was much better for me. You know, I started to cope. You know, I started to cope with what's happened. The only issue maybe it's my mom now, because she's feeling lonely all the time.
Yeah.
And when I was in Saudi, I lived with my mom. I used to live with my mom. So I'm very close to her. Whatever she needs, I'm the one who is going to replace anything at home. If she wants to call the guy who paint the wall, whatever she wants, I'm the one who preparing everything for her. And now she's calling me around sometimes she just call me at 11, 12 at night, you know, and she just wanna talk about anything, because she you know, she's feeling lonely all the time, and she wants someone to listen to her. And sometimes she said, if your dad was there, I am going to tell him. She said, I'm going to tell him, but I don't have anyone to speak about it, so you are the only one who's listening to me, so that's why I called you. And even sometimes she called me while I'm cooking or while I'm doing my work, but she just wants me to listen, you know. She doesn't care if I'm busy, I'm doing other things. But she just wants someone to listen and to you know, sometimes if she complained about something, or she told me about, I think she relieved after she throw things from her heart, you know. She will become and I think sometimes even after she told me the whole story, then she said, okay, now I can go to bed, I want to sleep now. So, but I think with time she will get used to it, and that's why I want to just finish my PhD, and I want to go to my mom. And hopefully things get much better this year, with the end of this year, in the second and the third quarter of this year.
Yeah. So if I ask you, Dr. Mishal, about a really lovely story you remember about your father.
My father, he was the chief accountant for Saudi Airlines, and he raised up very, very, very. He was very strong, and my dad, he used to speak 3 languages. Yeah, and he was very, very tough, and he taught us how to spend money and how, because he's an accountant basically. So he never wasted money on things. We used to travel every year in the summer. He used to buy us many things. I can't I think I have many things, many memories and many stories. I went to the US, I went to London, to France, everywhere. My dad, he took us everywhere. But my dad, he's I don't know the word in English, but he put the money in the right things, you know. He doesn't want to spend money that much, and that's why I manage everything at home. You know, even my friends sometimes they ask for advice, for financial advice.
So you become budget, the budgeting for you do the budgeting for them, budgeting sheets.
Yes, you see. And maybe that's why I did my degree in business and economics, you know. So sometimes I like to plan ahead. My dad, he always plan ahead for a year, you know. My dad, he taught me to respect people and to respect other religion, because my dad, he used to travel everywhere. So my dad, he respect everyone. He give the respect for everyone, for all the people, for all people, and he respect relationships. Like he respect like the marriage. He respect, but he has many values and principle, and you know.
Yeah.
And sometimes he's very tough with us, but he spoiled the kids. My kids, were very spoiled by my dad. So many memories. I just, you know, Rihan, now I just have these flashes at my head.
Yeah.
You know, because after my dad, he passed away, so I just remember I had some photos in my phone, like my kid's birthday in 2018, before I came here. My last his last trip was at the beginning of 2018, also with my mom and one of my brothers. So I keep seeing these photos and watching the videos, and you know, sometimes it's difficult, but you know, I just miss it, and I know he's in a better place. This is what the only things that I can say.
Inshallah, he's in a better place, inshallah. And I think what you've been through, it's something that I think everybody will have it or have it already. So it's something that it's about time when we're going to have it, or when did we have it. But it's stages of life. I've been through it.
Yeah. Everyone will go through this,
It's your
you know.
mom.
But my
Yeah.
mom, what?
Your mom is the concentration. Now you give her what I did when my mom died, when my mom passed away. I give my all emotion to my father. So I got my father now as two parents right now.
I completely understand you. Yeah. Now my mom, I just want to finish this PhD because of my mom, you know. I spoke to my supervisor about it, because I already published my first paper, but now I told him, look, don't please. Because he keep asking me about publishing my work and working, you know. I told him, look, I don't want to work in academia, so please don't be very insist on publishing, because I just want to finish this PhD, and my plan is to submit in between March and April in 2022. So I don't want to, you know, I don't want to be away, and my mom, she needs me now, you know. But I can't do anything about it. If the kids finish the school in July, then immediately I'll leave, you know. But now, because of the school, it's very difficult now to switch, and I think they are nearly done with the academic year now in Saudi. Yeah, so hopefully this year we'll have much better time, everyone, everywhere.
So what is your message to all moms in all over the world?
Keep strong, keep safe, do all the best for your kids, and take care of the kids. And the kids, taking care of the kids is not about providing them with the food or the clothes that they need. It's the time. Provide them with much time and more time, and provide them with more love, and it's the time. I think we need to give our kids more time. Today I'll have the movie night because we could not have it yesterday. We have a movie night every Saturday.
What are you gonna watch?
We have no idea. Last week we watched I think it's called Meg, the shark movie, because my son, he likes dinosaurs and shark and these kind of these species, dangerous species. So last week we watched the Meg movie.
Yeah.
And this week we haven't decided yet, but we need to watch it quickly because he needs to go to bed at 9. Yeah. So
That's a lovely story. Thank you so much for your gift for all moms all over the world. And I think Dr. Ahlam wanted to welcome you because Dr. Ahlam, she's the president of Newcastle, Saudi Newcastle Club from the Saudi Cultural Attaché. And Dr. Masha'il Batarfi as well, she's the president of Reading Club from the Saudi Cultural Bureau. So I would like to leave you together.
Hi.
Nice to meet
you. Nice to meet you too.
كيف حالك؟ إن شاء الله طيب.
الحمد لله. أنت كيف حالك؟
الله يسلمك. الحمد لله. أول شيء الله يرحم الوالد إن شاء الله ويطول
آمين يا رب.
يا رب يخليها لك إن شاء الله.
آمين والله يا رب. الحمد لله على كل حال.
بمعرفتك حبيبتي.
والله أنا الأسعد. مرحبا بك.
الله
أنا جدا سعيدة إنه إحنا مجتمعين اليوم بالأم، وإحنا فعلا يعني إحنا في بلد الابتعاث إحنا أمهات لبعضنا فعلا.
ريحانة I think Dana with us now. Dana
your daughter.
Yeah.
Oh.
هي مصرة إنها تدخل معانا.
Yes.
خليها تعبر.
Dana, it's Dr. Ahlam Al-Silmi daughter. Dana.
Hello guys.
Hello.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Hi, how are you?
I'm great. How is everyone?
Hello. Lovely to hear from you, Dana.
Hello.
Yeah.
Hi, everyone. Can you guys hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
How is everyone? Yes, we can hear you. So I just want to join you guys. Want to say something to my mother? Because today is Mother's Day, so I want to say something really nice to her. Okay. So, Mother, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. So thank you for everything, for the kindness things that you do, and I'm really pleased to call you Mother. Since I was born, your love and patience and kindness has guided me through. I know some days that was not easy, but you always showed up and did your best. I have always felt your love, and for that, I am forever grateful. And you truly are the most wonderful mom I could have ever wished for. You taught me a lot of things, and you taught me that losing comes in waves, and so does the healing. And you taught me a lot of things, and I'm really emotional now. I'm about to cry. And so you didn't taught me that. You taught me everything, and except for that, I can. You told me. Well, sorry, I'm really emotional now. My mom taught me everything except how to live without her. Thank you, Mom, and thank you for being the best mother.
Oh.
Thank you, everyone.
Wait, amazing. That's amazing, too.
That's every mother's dream.
By the way, I'm Dana Salami, and I'm 17 years old, and I'm her oldest daughter.
Thank you for sharing, Dana. That's
welcome.
Really
Thank you for listening. Thank you.
You have just said the beautiful speech. We all love it. We wish you both, you and your mother, the best days to come.
Thank you so much. I hope you loved it, Mom.
I think you're a very good motivational speech. You can do motivational speech easily.
Thank you so much.
Right? You did that. You're wonderful.
And I want to
Yes.
add that Dana always helped me. That because we lived here alone with her dad. Her dad cannot stay with us here as his work in Saudi Arabia, and she always took care of her youngest brother, and she always working hard with me. And thank you so much.
Yes.
Dana.
Yes.
I know, Mother, but without you, I wouldn't know, like literally know everything. But I mean, what you taught me, it's the best thing ever. Thank you, Mother.
So what have you done to your mom today? Tell me that.
So I'm gonna, I have organized a little gift and a party after this meeting, but I don't want to ruin the surprise.
I know.
So we got the surprise. Surprise her right now. Whoa, a party.
Yeah, a party, and it's waiting for her downstairs.
She
So
asked me, that's why she asked me a lot, when you finished, Mama, when you finished this meeting. Okay, I know now.
Yeah,
Time to finish, I think, so you can go and
Yes,
have your
time
surprise.
to finish. Yes, so everyone can go. We can take a group picture together. Let me take it photos. So time to, yes, we finished, I think, today. But Dana, I think I just need one thing from you now.
yeah.
Just a story that's you always remember your mom of it.
So
A
my
story
mom
of
was.
your mom.
So my mom has been in a difficult time, and as you know, she's a single woman in here in the UK, and she has 4 kids, and it's really difficult with 4 kids. You know, she has 2 teenagers and one 10 years old daughter and 1 4 years old son. So I think that's really difficult for her because she doesn't have anyone to help her. And like, if you can see it now, my mom achieved a lot of things and that no one can do. And she did many things. She did her work, and on the other side, she did she provides every single one of us what we need, and she doesn't always say no. She brings us everything that we wanted, and that's what a perfect mom is. And as I said, she's a single mother in here in the UK, and if it's really hard, difficult, but my mom achieved it. Yeah, so thank you.
That's amazing.
Nice,
Thank
amazing.
you.
That's as Gollum said, saying that this is the every mom dream.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, to have you.
Thank you.
Exactly. Thank you so much for sharing. I would like,
Thank you.
do you have
Thank
something
you.
to say? To Miss Gollum?
I was just thinking that women are amazing, mothers are even more amazing, and the thing that they're renowned for is always giving of themselves. But I would encourage you, all mothers out there, especially mothers, to make time to care for yourself, because if you become empty, you will have nothing to give. And even on the aeroplane, they say, you know, parents, take the gas mask first and then put the gas mask to your children, because you play such an important role. And sometimes we're brought up to think, no, we must sacrifice everything and that taking care of ourselves is selfish. But actually, it's the wisest thing that you can do, because the more you fill yourself up, the more you've got to give to your family and to the world. So I'd really encourage you to think about, what do you need to fill yourself and recreate yourself and refresh yourself so that you have something to give.
Yes, thank you so much. Thank you. Appreciate it. Thank you for the end message. And do you have something to say, Dr. Rana, before we close?
I would like to thank Gallup for accepting our invitation and sharing her thoughts and her ideas about grief. And I would like also to thank Rahan for organizing this beautiful event and making it so emotional, especially at the end. And I would like also to thank Ahlam, Misha'il, Dana, Abdul Karim for staying with us or listening to our story, sharing their own stories. It was a beautiful day to spend Mother's Day. Thank you all.
Thank you, Dr. Rana. Dr. Masha'al. Dr. Masha'al, we share as well a similar supervisor, and we were really worried as well at the beginning of the pandemic and stuff. So to me, Dr. Masha'al, we share as well a similar level of PhD, similar topics, not same topic, not the same major, but similar way of even of collecting our research. So, Dr. Masha'al, I will never thank you enough for you coming and joining us today. And I know
No, it's my pleasure.
Thank you so much for coming, and thank you for your points and your expressing your feeling. It's very important for us to understand each other, especially in this difficult time, especially in this pandemic. And I would like to say sorry for your father, but I would like to say congratulations, you have a mother.
Yeah.
And if you have something to end up with, thank you.
I haven't prepared basically because Rihan, you just informed me last night. So
yes.
So but I just want to say that for all the mothers, all the ladies, that stay strong, because everyone are relying on us, and take care of yourself and take care of your kids, and I think, as I said before, time is the most precious things that you can give to your child. It's not about wearing the best dresses, the best or the high brand or whatsoever, or taking them somewhere, because I think the quality time, it's more important. Sometimes I take the kids with the car. Like yesterday, I took my daughter. We just went for a coffee. We had the coffee in the car. We just had very, very chat, and then we came back home, and I think she liked it. She likes that I give her the attention. And today the attention is for the little one. He's waiting for me now to watch the movie.
Yes. I took you from your children. I'm really sorry today.
So I think his time is more important than anything else, because and this is the build. And I think the communication also, especially for the older kids. I always ask them to come to my room and have chat. And sometimes they don't have anything to say. They say, we don't have anything to talk about. And after I ask them a couple of questions, then they will come up, or they will have many stories, and they will never stop, So I think communication is also very important to keep them. So the kids always, I think they will be grown up in a very, very healthy environment, and then they don't have more trust in their parents or their mom. And that's it. I don't have anything else. As I said, I haven't prepared very, very well, because you just invited me.
I think Mother's Day, it's us. That's why I said to Dr. Ghulam, I said, please, Ms. Ghulam, I want just us. It's about talking about us. It's not an event, to be honest with you.
Sharing from the heart.
It's hard.
You've done that very well.
Yes. Sunday, and it's Mother's Day. I can't give you we cannot give lectures at that day. So
I know. Maybe I'll came up with. If you told me, I'll came up with better stories, because I don't have anything in mind. I just told you all the things that in my head now, but I haven't prepared for anything.
We really enjoyed your talk. Wallah,
Yeah.
Wallah al-Azim, Wallah.
Yeah.
Wallah.
It's Wallah al-Azim, Wallah. it's. لأنه to me it's touching story. You're similar. You have, it's like my story, but later. I see your story. It's just later story. So I got it in the early stage with my mom, but you're the opposite. So that's why it's very important for me to have as well friends as well around me have similar stories, so we share similar difficulties too. Alhamdulillah.
And thank you,
Right.
everyone.
Happy Mother's Day.
Happy Mother's Day.
Mother's Day for everyone.
And we can conclude now. And thank you so much.
Yes, thank you, everybody.
Thank you, everybody. Bye-bye.
Let's say it all of
Bye.
us. Happy Mother's Day together.
Yes.
Thank you.
Happy
Happy
Mother's
Mother's Day.
Happy Mother's Day.
Okay, thank
Bye.
you. Bye. Bye.
دكتور رنا
سمي
موجودة كويس خليني